Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Let's Learn with AI. Since it's morning here, if you are watching this video at morning time, so good morning to you as well. Otherwise, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this video. Today's topic is related to literary theories. The theory is new criticism. In the previous video, we discussed about Russian formalism. So if you didn't watch that video, link is in the description. Watch that video as well. That's also helpful for you. So let's get started that what is new criticism and its history. New criticism, which is also known as formalism in United States. In United States, new criticism is also called formalism. Emerged in the early mid 20th century. Russian formalism was emerged in 20th century, but it was in the mid of 20th century. It emphasized close reading of a literary text to derive meaning primarily from the text itself, disregarding external context or authorial intent. It means we don't focus about the author's intent, that what are the intents of author. We don't focus on the external context in new criticism. And it's most important that you must understand the Russian formalism before studying new criticism, because they both are interconnected. There are much similarities, but there are also some differences. So it's important that you should watch that video, Russian formalism, then you should come to the topic new criticism. Here we have an example. Analyzing a poem through new criticism might involve examining its structure. Now, if we want to analyze any poem, and if teacher says to us that you must use new criticism, you must apply new criticism theory on this poem or this story. So what will you do? First of all, you will have to go through the structure, language, and symbolism without considering a historical or biographical context of the poet. It means you don't need to focus on the biography of the poet. You don't need to focus on history of the poem. So it's important. It means your main focus should be on structure, language, and symbolism without considering the historical or biographical context of the poet. Now, history of the new criticism. New criticism, a literary movement that emerged in the early to mid 20th century, sought to emphasize close reading and analysis of a text, focusing on its intrinsic formal elements rather than external factors. Here is a brief history. Origins: 1920s to 1930s. The movement began to take shape in the 1920s and 1930s with scholars like I.A. Richards. These are the most important writers of the new criticism, and T.S. Eliot, advocating for a more rigorous and formal approach to literary analysis. These early proponents laid the groundwork for what would later become new criticism. So they both played a huge role, a great role in the new criticism and shaping the new criticism theory, to work on new criticism theory. Formation and development in 1930s to 1940s. The term new criticism was popularized by John Cron Renson in his essay Criticism. It is an essay, okay? So he popularized it. John Cron Renson, along with Clement Brooks, Alan Tite, and Robert Wynne, were key figures in the development of new criticism. They established the movement's principles, emphasizing the autonomy of the literary work and the importance of a text-centered analysis. So these writers are also the important writers. There are many writers which has been mentioned in this paragraph. So they also worked on new criticism. Publication of key works in 1940s to 1950s. Clement's work, it's a writer, Clement Brooks' work, The Well-Wrought Urn, 1947, and W.K. Smith's The Verbal Icon, 1954, and considered seminal texts of new criticism. These works further articulated the movement's principles, advocating for the close examination of language, form and structure within the literary work. As I said that we focus on the form, we focus on the structure, we focus on the language, we examine these all things in any work whenever we talk about the new criticism. Influence in academia, 1950s to 1960s. New criticism gained prominence in academic circles, particularly in the United States. Okay, so it means it got popularity in the United States in the 1960s, influencing literature departments and shaping how literature was taught and analyzed. It means the people raised question that how literature was analyzed and how it was taught in the past. The movement's emphasis on close reading became a dominant approach in literary studies, and the people, the teachers, the students, they focused on the close reading. So that's why it became a theories. It means they all became a theories like new criticism, Russian formalism, reader response theory, post-colonialism theory. There are many theories, and we will discuss one by one. So it's the second theory we are discussing. The first one was Russian formalism, second is new criticism, and the third we will discuss about reader response theory. Then we have critiques and decline in 1960s to 1970s. In the 1960s and 1970s, new criticism faced critiques for its perceived neglect of historical and cultural context. Oh, the most important point. Okay, so as I said that in new criticism, what we do? In new criticism, our main focus is like on structure, language. These all are our main focus, and form. But in 1970s, people criticized that why you people don't discuss about the history, why you people don't focus on the history and cultural context whenever you want to analyze, whenever you want to criticize any work or any poetry, any literary work, drama, novel. So this question was raised. It means they wanted to criticize the rise of other literary theories such as structuralism, post-structuralism, and cultural studies contributed to the decline of new criticism as in dominant literary approach. So it's important. Suppose if today new criticism has dominancy, if it's dominant today, so tomorrow the other theory will come and the other theory will be explored. So the other theory will have dominancy on the new criticism. So that is why in the last it has been written that like structuralism came, then structuralism theory was developed, post-structuralism theory was developed. So the new criticism theory that was suppressed, that lost its popularity. Difference between new criticism and Russian formalism. It's also important question, and when I was student, this question was asked from us in paper. So what's the difference between Russian formalism and new criticism with examples? So it's the most important question, and it's always asked in short questions as well as in long questions. And if it's asked in long questions, so you have to define history. But if it's asked in short questions, you just need to define just like definition and with examples. Okay, geographical region. Russian formalism originated in Russia. Okay, so this is the most important point, the first point. Russian formalism, as by its name you can judge that it was originated in Russia, and the new criticism emerged in the United States. The first difference. The second one is approach to context. Russian formalism tend to disregard historical and biographical context, focusing on the internal structure of a literary work. In Russian formalism, as I said, they don't focus on the history of any literary work, on the biography of context of any work, means if any writer. They don't focus on the biography of any writer. Their main focus is on the internal structure of any literary work. New criticism, while emphasizing the text, allows for some consideration of context if it enhances the understanding of the work. But new criticism, it has another point. It means they allow you in some contexts. They allow you in some context. It means you concentrate, you enhances, or you understand the work. It means if you want to understand that work, so the new criticism allows you to analyze the to analyze the societal context, to analyze the history. But Russian formalism does not allow you. Russian formalism examples. Analyzing the narrative structure of a short story without delivering its author's biography or the historical period in which it was written. There is any short story, okay. For example, the short story we are having, that is a cup of tea. A cup of tea is a short story, okay. So a cup of tea is a short story. You don't need to focus on the biography of author if you want to analyze in the context of Russian formalism, or if you want to apply the theory Russian formalism. So you don't need to focus on the history, you don't need to focus on the biography of the author, you just need to focus on the structure, okay. New criticism example is close reading of a poem to explore its use of imagery, metaphor and symbolism, considering only what is present within the text itself. But in new criticism, if you want to analyze any form, what will you see? You will go through imagery, means literary devices, metaphor, symbolism. So these are the important things. And the next video we will discuss about reader response theory. So this was all about today. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If this video has sparked your interest, I suggest you to like, share, comment and do subscribe to the channel. If you have any question, please ask in comment section. It will be my pleasure to assist you. See you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.